Welcome to Faces and Stories, where every face has a story worth telling. I'm Musa, your host, and today we are here with Lula. I don't want to say her full names because I might not say them the right way. I will let her give her introduction to us.
Thank you for having me. My name is Luladey Takele, and yes, I go by Lula, personal brand by Lula. And I am a visual artist and a curator based in Kigali, but I'm from Ethiopia.
I have a few questions for you. We would like to dig deep down and know who Lula is. Beyond the face we see, the Lula we see out there, curating events, painting, we want to know who you really are. Through a few questions, nothing serious, nothing serious. Just be authentic and no problem at all. So I'll start with this. When did you first discover your love for art?
My love for art has always been there. I think since I was little.
Okay.
I was drawn to paintings. I was drawn to fashion, just anything that allowed others to express. So I've always been drawn to other people's work.
Okay.
But I think for me to start doing it, it took a bit of time. I used to practice with my cousin. My cousin used to draw, so I was really surrounded with visual arts. So I recreated what he used to.
Wow.
And over time, my parents also really supported that. So we had like papers, coloring pens, everything else that could actually aid me to explore that a bit more. So yeah, I've always been interested in arts, one form or the other. I think it evolved over time. It changed from sketching to fashion to photography, and then sculpting and getting into like space curation, event curation and everything. So I think mainly it's the creative side of me has always been there because I saw it as a form of self-expression.
Wow. When you talk about art, you talk about Lula because you just explained that in the answer. You're not just a painter. You do different aspects of art, and that's the beauty of art. And I've seen some of your work with what you can do when you put your hands on it. Well, you're a complete artist, and
Thank you.
That's really beautiful.
I appreciate it.
So maybe my follow-up question would be, was there a defining moment when you realized you wanted to be an artist?
No, I think I've always felt like art was a part of me in a sense, because in the way I wanted a certain type of quilt on my bed, or how I wanted my bedroom to be set up, or how I decorated the notebooks that we have for school every time you change like semesters, and how I sketched the hearts in biology.
Wow.
Or like it has always been something that I valued and given time to. So there has not been an aha moment, but I think I would say how it changed into a commercial, or me seeing it as valuable to sell, and other people would be interested in having these pieces. That one, yes, I had a moment in 2018, and I was just about to move to Rwanda, and I was creating for the sake of creating. My first painting was in 2017. And I simply just picked up a canvas that was empty, and I used to work at a school at the time. So there was an empty canvas that nobody else was using. So I just thought, let me try to create something, and that's how it started.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I have never really had any experience before that, except for sketching. I used to sketch a lot, but yeah. So once that shift has happened, and then I was moving to I didn't know I was moving to Rwanda at the time. I was moving to Addis. And I used to live in the US at that time. So when I was trying to move, I had all of these pieces that were created and did not particularly want to take it with me because it was a lot. And so my sister kept pushing me to say, hey, just offer it to your friends and see who will buy it. Like, I'm sure people would want to own it. And so I couldn't put a price on it. I couldn't put a price to anything else because I didn't know. I didn't even value it in that sense, right? In terms of monetary value, at least. So yeah, I just put it in a group chat and people started, giving their own value to it. And then, yeah, that was the first time I was like, oh, I can actually make money off of this. Yeah.
That's really nice. Talk about now it's coming from art. Now it's also becoming work, commercial. Where do you find inspiration for your work? Because anyone can just paint, but then...
Yeah. I think inspiration is really about not having those aha moments, but rather noticing the moments that you actually have on a regular basis. So for me, it's about the conversations we're having, the materials we consume, whether it is social media, whether it's the things that we read, articles, books. It's what we feed into ourselves. So it's the conversation, it's the events that we're attending, or it comes off of from the human experience, because that's what I base everything off of. And then your perspective, my perspective, and then my interpretation of that is what comes out as an art.
So Lula, I'm so impressed and I'm so happy to be with you here, because personally I'm an artist, I'm a photographer, I do content creation, and I love art. And I also respect artists, because I do believe that artists have the power to shape the future of the world. And with that, I see that through every artist's creation. Talk about artists' creations. I have seen most of your paintings have a theme. When you look at it and you're like, this must be Lula, just from anywhere.
Oh, that's precious.
Because I've seen many of your paintings. When I see one anywhere, I'm like, this must be Lula. And when I get closer, I say, yes, it's really Lula. Now, I want you to answer this for me, or explain to me, what themes constantly appear in your paintings through your mind?
Thank you for that. I mean, what inspires me, I think most of my pieces, and I didn't really do it intentionally initially, but it's women. I paint women, or I sketch women. And it was my mom and a friend of mine who actually pointed that out to me, that, you always paint women, or you always sketch women. So why is that? And for me, mostly, it's it's me, right? It's whatever is mirroring me that I'm able to capture or to see the beauty in. So the female experience, or the women experience, the human experience, is something that I can capture well, because I see it through my eyes.
Yeah.
So my perspective is an African woman perspective. So majority of the things that I experience, whether it's socially, economically, and even just emotionally, it is through a woman's lens. So I believe that's what comes out. But in terms of thematic work, I do have acrylic work, but also acrylic on canvas as paintings, but I also work with ink. So ink on paper, just black ink. Yeah. And that was a part of a collection called Deeply Rooted Black Ink. And that's it's symbolic to the impact of black ink on a white surface. And so that has a lot of underneath meanings about race, about space, and about impacts of black people as a whole on this world. Yeah.
Thank you. Please briefly talk to us about Blue Circle by Lula. I know I've seen that. I've seen that everywhere, almost everywhere.
Yeah.
As a normal human being, I say, oh, Blue Circle by Lula, but I don't really know what's behind Blue Circle by Lula.
Okay. So Blue Circle is a collection. It's a collection of my first solo art exhibition, and it was hosted about 2 years ago now. But it was a collection that also mixed both acrylic and ink work, and I exhibited 7 acrylic works and 8 ink works as well. And the whole concept was that I wanted to do a solo exhibition, which just had my work in it. And the aim was to understand what color has as an impact in our daily lives. So I chose blue at the time because of its significance in our pigment significance. So to go in depth a bit more, blue is the last color that was found, and it's a primary color initially, but it's the last color within the primary colors. And that color, it was so rare that it was only used for holy or royal representations in arts. And then over time, it's created more. It does not have that much of a demand because the supply is there, right? So then it turned into, it had different meanings. In music, blues is something that signifies emotion, right? It's attached to a sad or very calm type of tune, while you look at like infinite things like the sky or the ocean, it's now signified as blue as well. So it has changed its meaning according to the space we're in. Right now, if you say girl or girl is like pink, and then blue is a boy for gender reveal, and all of these things, it's has evolved over time, but on the African continent. And if you look at our history, blue is also a signifier of feminine, the most feminine women, right? So it has shifted over time. The value of it and the meaning of it has shifted over time. And so that's what I wanted to capture. And the circle is a symbol to the circle of life. Nothing ever really happens the same way twice. So it was wherever you're at, it will pass. You're happy, it will pass. You're sad, it will pass. You're grieving, it will pass. Even grief is not experienced the same way. Happiness is not experienced the same way. So the circle is just whichever point you're on, it's meant to go around. It's meant to come down, it's meant to come up. And yeah, that's what Blue Circle was. It was a 3-day exhibition. We had an opening day, a showing day, and then last day that was a conversation. We hosted it at Mundi, and it was beautiful. It was a really excellent show. Yeah, I loved every bit of it, and it was something that I just decided to do, even if fear was coming in. The initial financing that we've set out was not the same. And it was, there was a lot of hurdles, but it came out perfectly.
Amazing. How do you know when an idea is worth turning into a painting? Because you don't point everything.
I don't know.
You don't know? I
don't know if this is worth something. I create it because I'm given that vision. Like, I have that vision. So I don't particularly think it's up to me to say, oh, this is worthy or this is not. I'm an artist. I have to create. I am here to create. Yeah. So I have to allow that, whatever comes to me, to live outside of me, so it can serve somebody else, something else. So it's not really up to me to say, oh, this one is worth it and this one is not. But also in your day-to-day, whatever you're thinking about, it doesn't mean every single thing you think about also you create. Yeah. I mean, depending on how life is, how your schedule is, what you have to do, and all of these things, there are already other hurdles that keep you from doing things the way that you would want to or the way that you would wish to, right? So while you're facing those things, for me, for the things that I am able and that I'm capable of doing, it's not up to me to say what's worth or not. I don't plan extensively, but I can tell you there are certain timelines that I would give for me to go out of my comfort zone. So just like the exhibition you mentioned, that is something I had to actively decide, because there's a lot of fear that was keeping me from showing my work other than to my friends.
Yeah.
Right? And so once I recognize that, then it's up to me to decide whether or not how I interpret that into my life. And so I had to push myself to create that. That means I had to give myself a certain amount of timeline to also deliver, to hold myself accountable for it. But in terms of what I create, I don't think and plan, and that can't happen.
I know, like, as everything we do has challenges. What has been the best challenging obstacles in your artistic career?
My own thoughts. It's my own. I think overcoming your own limitations is the biggest challenge, especially as an artist. Everything else external, I don't think it matters as much as we think it does. And this is something I'm learning right now. But majority of the limitation we put on ourselves is our own thing. So the biggest challenge for me is my own limiting belief.
We've talked about art and painting a lot. We forgot the curating side of you. And I would like to know about that side. How do you handle criticism when it comes to curation, like event curation?
Criticism, I actually don't think we criticize enough, to be honest. I don't think we criticize in a sense of like improvement, right? Some things that you can improve, that you can work on. I don't think we have enough of that in the arts industry here. Maybe it's also because the talent is also new, and we're going into a new industry as well, so we don't particularly know how to critique or how to share that kind of information. But I don't think we critique enough. We give constructive criticism. But I welcome it. I welcome it in the work that I do, because I want to be good at what I do. I have my own expectations and my own standards that I want to develop, that I want to execute, and I live by that and I create by that. But if anybody else also has an opinion as to what went wrong and what did not, I particularly would not internalize that. It's not personal, it is to the work, and so I think it's good.
I like the fact that you're an artist. How do you balance creativity with the business side of being an artist?
I think the whole concept of like a balance is also a scam. I think we try to evaluate or to try and create like I've done a bit more of this, so now I have to do that fine balance. I don't think it will come. I think there's going to be times where we're going to be fully creating, and then there are going to be times when we're going to be reaping off the benefits of what we've created, right? So I think the main thing that I've actually gotten over time is that when I want to create, I should not be limited by how much money I have or how much money I can spend on this and stuff, because then that becomes it narrows the creative process. It puts it in a very confined space, right? So, and if I'm saying, oh, I have to sell this, so I need to creativity and that structured space does not particularly coexist, unfortunately. But you have to be able to allow yourself to have the flexibility to create when you want to create, which means that there are certain structures that you do have to put in. So the same thing as I was telling you, I wanted to create more. So I did paintings and everything, but then for me to be able to make a living out of what I'm creating, I have to put on a show. I have to do events. I have to showcase that I do this, right? And not just do it at home and keep it at home and be there.
Yeah.
So the main thing is, what is the goal we're trying to achieve with what we're creating? If the goal is to make a living out of it and we want to consistently live off of that, so we can continue to create and we can have that circle, then that means we need to find a way to integrate that within the lives that we have. Just creating in the studio only does not bring you the clients that you need. You also have to understand who you're trying to sell to and where do they hang out.
True.
So you can meet these people. And this is a learning curve as a creative.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pivoting you have to do. There are a lot of changes that you have to make according to what you say you want. You test it out. If it doesn't work, you change. And just having some sort of outcome or goal that you want to attach to what you're doing allows you to follow up on the purpose of it and if it's working for you or if it's not. So yeah, it's an active thing, but I don't think there is a perfect balance that we also idealize sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have more of the creative juices, and sometimes we can sell a bit more. So it's and then do your finances as well. When you sell, are you spending as much as you're selling, or are you also giving yourself that time and reinvesting that money back into your space, back into your work, to allow yourself to continue to do this a bit more. So I think you learn to be strategic as soon as you start doing it as a business and you don't see it as a hobby anymore.
I think you're making a point, and I also think, to add on that, I feel like as artists, the business side comes later. We'll look at the art first, because when you create with love, with passion, then if what you're creating is beautiful, it sells itself like automatically. Instead of someone, for example, someone comes into photography looking to make money out of photography. You find yourself doing ugly portraits because all you're doing is just shoot, make money. But if you're doing this as a passion and love, I do believe what you're saying is there's time for creating with love, with the passion. Then at the end of the day, if what you're creating is beautiful and it sells itself, the money will come in. Well, I need to get this perspective of yours about the role of what you think art plays in a society.
I think we play a very important role, actually. I think we have a say. We are the driving factor of not only building culture or stating a narrative, but the way we live, the way we show up into our communities really impacts the way other people also see it. And creatives have that ability, not just the skills and all of that, but the vision to see beyond what we have as a norm, beyond what we have as a day-to-day, right? So we are gifted with the vision. We're gifted with the skills and the talent to be able to develop something that is bigger than ours and can give to our communities. And so seeing the value in that is the most important thing.
Wow.
And our purpose or our alignment with what we're creating also has to match that. Yeah.
Now, I have a few rapids for you.
Okay.
This is a very quick fire. No,
cool.
No much thinking.
All right.
Visual art or performing art?
To create visual arts, to consume performing arts. Can I say that?
Okay, yes, you can.
I love consuming performing arts.
Okay.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to a young emerging female painter?
I don't think I am in a place to advise anything, to be honest.
Okay.
But I would say just listen to yourself. You know the answer already. And create. That's it.
So, Lula, thank you for the time. We've talked about the journey, everything that shaped your career and everything. But I would like to know, what are you working on at the moment and what does it teach you about yourself?
Okay. Currently, we have a studio. I have the studio in a collaboration with the Terrace. The studio is a space for visual artists to not only share knowledge and skills amongst artisans, but also creating other opportunities, such as supporting artists to showcase their work, to develop their own portfolio and their professional presence, and skills development as well. And also through that, there is a collaboration that I have here with the Terrace. It's a short-term stay and an event space that is mainly I have been curating for the Terrace, so curating in terms of the visual experience and client experiences as well. Once they come to see how they can integrate, they can be integrated within Rwanda-made and locally produced products and arts as well. So we are trying to build, they are trying to build an experience, and I have been an artist working with different artists here in Rwanda, and so we are collaborating on this project, and so that's what I'm working on right now, collaboration. If you are really trying to bring in the big ideas, the bigger pictures, sometimes you can't go through it by yourself. Not sometimes, a lot of the times. So collaboration is very important. And so creating that kind of space where artists can meet space, can meet platforms and opportunities for them not only to showcase and to sell, but also for us to develop bigger businesses and bigger reach. That's what I'm working on currently. And I guess the biggest thing that I'm learning is that collaboration is important.
Wow.
But also it requires a lot of patience, like patience within where you're trying to go. You're going to have to pivot a lot. You're going to have to learn to communicate a lot. And even understanding where your shortcomings are, what you like to do and what you don't like to do, but what the business likes as a whole as well when you're trying to build. So it takes time. It takes time to build anything. And it is important that we understand that every time we are facing a bit of a hurdle. So yeah, that's what I'm currently learning, and just keeping my eye on the vision, the bigger picture, and then making sure that I show up for it every day. The Terrace is a townhouse, so it's a 6-bedroom townhouse. And it is created for short stays and event spaces, and specifically also while igniting artistic creations and enabling a creative environment. So we developed the full concept in terms of design, which is to highlight African design and locally produced materials, and even to think a bit differently on how we decorate spaces. So you'll see a lot of murals, you'll see a lot of big visual arts as well, because this is the space for the visual arts anyway. And then you'll see how designs and locally produced materials are actually integrated within the decoration of the space. So the aim is that we can create the space, and we can allow also artists to not only come together and produce and share their skills together, but also for art consumers and travelers to also be able to meet our local artisans and integrate within the creatives in Rwanda. And we're also planning to have smaller, intimate events that can allow this to happen. We have a beautiful terrace upstairs, and I'm actually looking forward to show you the full space. And yeah, it is. If you're staying here, this is a very calm space. It is an inspirational space. So we designed it in a way that you come into the space and you feel calm and you feel rejuvenated with your stay, and you come out of it wanting to create. And while you're here, the studio is here. If you want to have a painting session, you can. If you want to do a group session with people, if you want to do a staycation, and all of that is possible. And then we also have the event space if you want to create. So for a lot of artists also, they've struggled with a space to showcase their artwork or to be able to sell it, or just share their performances and everything as well. So we're building out a program that will allow artists to use the space for that, while having consumers also coming in to find art living in the space. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Cynthia Owicheza, and I'm the host of The Terrace.
Zuwa Kawanda, and I am the second half of The Terrace and a co-host.
The Terrace is a short-term rental. We are on Airbnb, Booking.com, and you can also find us on Instagram. The Terrace is a townhouse. It has 3 floors, 6 beds, each individually curated for travelers, digital nomads, families as well, group of friends. And it also has a rooftop, which is great for entertainment. So you're always welcome.
So why this project? When we started thinking about the terrace and what it would look like, we wanted, yes, a place for travelers, but something a bit different. So a place where people can come and spark their creativity, a place where you would travel, but also build community at the same time. So we wanted a space that just inspires creativity, but also brings that sense of home and community. Yeah.
I mean, part of it as well is that we wanted a space where, we can also pay homage to the creatives in Kigali and Rwanda as well. So it was really great. Whenever we looked around, we would see, ceramicists with the beautiful pottery, artists with all like the paintings is the one you can see in the background, and as you will see throughout the whole house. We just wanted it to be like a fresh canvas in which other travelers and people from outside can be able to appreciate the artistries of creatives in Kigali, and also part of it too is also to be able to showcase our culture and what everyone is able to do, and so that's why you'll see that the house is like the bedrooms are individually curated and they have a different feel. Some are very bright for anyone who loves that type of art. Others are very calm, meant for anyone who wants to reset and have a space to be able to write down their thoughts and be able to rest. And then the rooftop as well provides great views, as well as now it's being done with a mural. So it will be also another place where you can be able to appreciate the artistry that creatives here have. So we wanted to work with Luladey to bring the space to life. We shared, similar interests as far as, what kind of art we wanted to showcase, being able to work with different creatives. And so she's really brought the space to life, and you'll see her touches throughout the rooms, throughout the kitchen, even the rooftop as well. So it was very important for us to be able to have someone who understands art really well, and someone who's also who loves showcasing Rwandan art as well. So that's what our collaboration has been with Luladey, and you'll find her studio downstairs as well, with her merch and art and also other artists around the house.
For the open house, the idea was to introduce first the space to everyone, and we had our first open house / launch last year in December. And like I said, the idea was to just introduce the space to everyone in Kigali to know that this is what we are building, but also to have people experience the space even as you're entering, experience the art around the house. And not just that, but to have people network, to get to know each other, but also build that ecosystem and community as well. And our plan is to have it like an annual event. So we're planning to do one as well. And the aim is to have people know there are creative artists out there, to have them display their work, and to also have people just come around, chill, but also just get to know each other, get to experience the art. But the art is also for sale. So we anticipate that people coming for these events might, pick an interest on one or two arts and buy them. So that's the whole idea around the open house. My favorite spot is the terrace, the rooftop. Mostly at night, the view is just breathtaking.
Yeah, my favorite space is the kitchen. I love the art, the mural wall, but also it's very communal. It's somewhere where you could just be able to talk, eat, conversate. So it's my favorite. I will say, I think, at least from my end, I think that Derek Dushabandi, his art around the house, I really enjoyed all his pieces and would love to keep hosting or have more of his pieces around the house.
I don't think I have an artist specifically, but I think any artist in East Africa. So either somebody from Kenya, like a singer, it could be somebody from Southeast Soul, or an upcoming artist from Uganda.
The terrace in 5 years, I think that, when we're thinking about this space, we want it to be something like communal. I think we wanted it to be a space where maybe all the artists can find themselves in, a place where they can see it as a fresh canvas, be able to collaborate, but also a space where they can see their art moving from here to beyond even Rwanda, So I think that in 5 years, we hope that, we'll be able to collaborate with other artists within Rwanda, outside of Rwanda, and be able to achieve, to be able to bring people together to celebrate their art, celebrate their creations, and appreciate, all that they have to offer. So that's what I envision for 5 years from now.
In 5 years, we want, like she said, I think we also envision things like having residencies for artists and workshops, and it being a space where they can just sit and be inspired and create work that doesn't sell just in Kigali but even around the world, but also have people who come as travelers, create stories out of their experiences here. So we want it to be a creative space, a community, but a place that also tells stories, not just a place you come to relax, but a place that you come and take away something with you.
For the artists that I would love for us to have in this area is I would want to have more like women painters or even sculptors, ceramicists who could be able to showcase their work here. I think that there's a lot of talented women creatives, and we want this space to also be a space that they can see themselves in and can bring their work to life. So if you're out there, please bring your work. We'd love to work with you. Thank you.